Okay, well, welcome back, everybody. We are going to finish up on this three-part series by assembling the 90-degree elbow with the square throat and the radius back. So let's get started with it. So we've already completed the left-hand cheek and the right-hand cheek here as well, ready to be assembled. We've got the radius heel bent and ready to go, and we've got our square throat ready to assemble. So we're just going to set that in place there, get some of this lined up, and we'll work it around. Now when I initially start this, I want to start with these corners flush, so hopefully if we measured everything right and calculated it, the other end will also be flush. So if you've taken the time to run this through your easy edger, taking a little bit of time, it should pretty well go right in with very little pressure of your fingers, and it shouldn't really fight you too much. But sometimes if you get too many weaves in it, or you don't spend quite enough time on the easy edger, you can really fight yourself on these corners here. So that being said, looking at this, I can see just based on the outside edge and on the inside as well, that there's a gap inside there. Not everything is 100% down tight inside there. So we got to finish that up. A couple different methods you can do that. Some people will take a screwdriver and then they'll tap on it, and other people will actually have a piece of metal with a groove cut in that'll slip right over this. When you use a screwdriver, I don't prefer to have it set out 90 degrees from it. I prefer to keep it back there, so if we do dent it, when we bend this flange over from the lock form, it will cover any of the small dings that you put into it using a screwdriver. But anyway, now that everything's in there and the edges are lined up flush and smooth with each other here, we're going to start locking things over. So just make sure the corners are down and tap it over. And then usually I go like in an area maybe where it's not sitting quite as well. Just kind of tap it, make sure it bottoms out. And then I'll probably lock something over in the center here someplace. Notice how I kind of work that to the middle to prevent any extra dings in there. And then we'll finish it off on the edge here. Being careful not to bend the outside corners when we finish this off. Now that I've got them locked down, I can use the side of my hammer and finish flattening them out. But I'm going to start with the inside corner here to go, getting that in there. Usually I try to start in the back somewhat where it goes together, and that should also sit flush and decent with that. I don't know if this will really matter, but I wasn't particularly fond. That looks a little better on this side for some reason. We'll see how it comes out down on the bottom. So again, you can grab these with your seamer if they seem to be spreading apart there, which some seem to work all right with that. Okay, then we'll finish the outsides. I like to use the side of my hammer to prevent any extra dings in that corner at this point. Okay, as I was doing that, what I was trying to maintain was making certain that these corners don't all of a sudden slide or shift and that they stay flush. So let's flip it over and finish the other side. So we'll do the same thing. We'll start on an edge or something that appears that it's going to work decent and try to line it up flush with the face of the heel, and then slip that in there. And preferably with little effort if it was run through the lock former in a decent manner. So you can just see how I basically just took my finger with the glove and ran it around there. The only thing I don't like right now, if you look at this, is this edge is not lined up quite flush. So that means I need to shift the part back this side because this is sticking past slightly a little bit. So we'll just pop it back out of there a little bit until I can shift it. I might have to take it all the way out. Nope, the way yep, I'm going to have to pull it all the way out. Reline up my edges. And then try to fit that one more time. This time it came out quite a bit better than it was in the previous attempt. So again, just take your screwdriver in the corner, just seat it. Make sure it sits all the way down into that groove on the bottom with no gaps inside here. Like here's a little small gap down here in the bottom. We'll work them down as we come around. So everything's flush. I'm going to start locking things over. Here's the first corner. I think it was a little bit high right here, which it was. Gotta hold that for now. It's high here. Hold that, and then we'll work it to the outermost edge. Make certain it's seated down, which it is. Now that I got it tacked in place, we'll finish the inside portion of the project here as well. So you can see they're pretty well lined up, plus or minus the 1/8 inch there. Usually I try to prevent it, like if it was sitting on the edge up here, try to prevent being able to fit the tip of a ball peen pin under them corners. Okay, so let's finish the back. So again, to the side of my hammer to prevent any extra kinks and things. It'll make a nice smooth looking fitting. Okay, I'm looking for any seams or any cracks that might be down a little bit tighter. Like this corner could maybe have been down just a little bit more. And work them all the way around. At that point in time, as far as I'm concerned, the project is ready to be graded. Things that I'll be looking for is any gaps inside in the back there. With that, sizes measured here and here. Right on the corners here and here, this direction, on all four corners with that, and checking it for any dings. Like this part here, I know it was scrapped, that's why I used it, but you'd get dings for those little points. So, all right, that will wrap up project 11 with the radius back and the square throat. Thanks for joining me. We will see you on the next one.